A nivel mundial, pues hay muchas técnicas, alguna que nos ha afectado bastante y que nos ha ganado muchas peleas, la americana, ¿no? Los peleadores morenitos nos han ganado casi todas, güey. O sea, pues así me atrevo a decir que en la historia vete para atrás y cuenta y nos han ganado muchas.
Pues, so, the one and only, one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time, we talking about top 5, Erik Morales, came out praising the Black American fighters, from Crawford to Floyd to Roy Jones to Pernell Whitaker to Sugar Ray Leonard to Larry Holmes to Muhammad Ali to Sugar Ray Robinson to Joe Louis, all the way back to the Jack Johnson days. One particular race, they like the saiyan race, and that's the Black American fighters Erik Morales was talking about. Erik Morales, in fact, emphasized on that. He made it very clear. When I say Americans, I'm not talking about the white Americans. I'm not talking about any Americans, Mexicans, or whatever. I'm only talking about the Black Americans. Erik Morales said they have been kicking our asses since the beginning of time in the sport of boxing. They are the best, second to none in boxing. If you want to hear exactly what Erik Morales had to say, I'm going to play what Erik Morales said in Spanish at the end of the video. But if you don't speak Spanish and you want to know what Erik Morales said exactly, then just keep tuning in. Erik Morales put his journalist hat on. Who knew Erik Morales was going to be more of a professional journalist that's objective, that's unbiased, that says nothing but facts, more than all of the mainstream media and further beyond that. Erik Morales told the raw truth, the whole absolute truth. He stated that the Black American fighters has been kicking our asses. They are the best, second to none. Well, the guy that was interviewing Morales, the Mexican reporter, that really bothered him. So he started debating with Erik Morales, since that's his profession, right? Morales is a fighter. He knows nothing about boxing. This reporter tried to school Morales. He told him, but remember Chavez Sr., he was like 89-0. So that can't apply to everybody. Forget about Floyd 50-0. Chavez Sr. at some point was 89-0. And that's when Morales had to feed this reporter the overwhelming truth by telling him, but you know Chavez Sr. got dominated, beat up, and even dropped, where he started running after that against Frankie Randall. This was when Chavez was at the peak of his prime, according to all the Hispanic fans, right? Or even before that, Pernell Whitaker schooled Chavez Sr. 12 rounds to none and ended up with a robbery draw. Chavez Sr. was running from these rematches, and he never rematched Pernell Whitaker. So Morales was schooling the reporter, pointing out nothing but facts. Morales didn't stop there. He pointed out Barrera, another one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time, like Chavez Sr. He pointed out when Barrera was undefeated, he got knocked out twice by over-the-hill Roy Jones Jr., right? And then the reporter tried to save the day by telling him, but you beat that guy. Morales was like, yeah, when he was over the hill pretty much. But after that, there was a black fighter that beat me. So you see the pattern here, right? Chavez, Barrera, me, Marquez, Duran, all these guys lost to a black fighter. Meanwhile, nobody is beating these black fighters but themselves. And some of them don't lose, like Floyd, like Crawford. Morales pointed out how every Mexican great lost to a black fighter. To make matters worse, they lost their undefeated records to a black fighter. They lost in their primes to a black fighter. So the more Morales was hitting this reporter with facts, he tried to rebuttal by staying on code. He was repeating all the mainstream media talking points. He was repeating all the race fans' talking points. However, Erik Morales wasn't having it. The more he did it, the more Morales was schooling him. At some point, Morales told him, listen, truth be told, the Black American fighters already beat us at everything. They beat us in every situation. They beat us in every circumstances. It doesn't matter if they are smaller. It doesn't matter if they were older. It doesn't matter if they have less experience and we have more everything. They still kicked our asses. This is what one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time had to say, top 5. They beat us every kind of way. They beat us in the inside. They beat us in the outside. They beat us mid-range. They beat us on the back foot. They beat us on the front foot. At this point, you just order what type of ass whooping you want when you fight a black fighter. I'm telling you, Erik Morales was schooling this reporter at his own job. He was schooling him in history and everything. You would think the reporter knows more than Erik Morales, but Erik Morales was knocking him out with straight facts. Erik Morales started talking about Crawford. He pointed out, look at Crawford. He was facing every single disadvantage. He was older. He was inactive. He was moving up 3 weight classes. Man, Crawford was facing the world, the judges, the fans, the commentators, the referee, and he still kicked Canelo Alvarez's ass. How, Sway, how? That's what the reporter started telling Erik Morales, like, what's going on? How, Sway, how they do that? What makes them so special? Erik Morales said, it's their technique. It's their rhythm. It's their style. We cannot figure it out. Basically, they're more talented than us. They have better instinct. They are more gifted. How the hell can you beat them? They fast. They have better defense. Man, he was talking about black fighters as if they were a race of saiyans that can go super saiyan for real, not humans. The way Erik Morales was talking about Crawford and all the black greats is the way Vegeta was talking about Goku when he went Super Saiyan 3 against Buu. Remember, Vegeta put his pride aside and he was like, man, forget all that catching up. I can't catch up to you, Goku. You better than me at everything. That's what Erik was saying about the black fighters compared to them, and them meaning anyone that's not a black American fighter. Erik Morales put his pride aside when he was doing this interview. So, salute to Erik Morales, because he's one of the realest. Not too many will tell the raw truth like this, uncut. What was so funny about it, Erik was one of them fighters, just like his father. He came out stating, back when everyone was claiming Canelo was pound for pound #1 over Bud, and they were saying Canelo is unbeatable at 168. That's when Erik Morales' father said, absolutely not. I'm Mexican, but you can't say that. Until you beat the best black American fighters, then you can't say that. They have been beating us since the sport started. Back then, they were demanding Canelo to fight Jamal Charlo and Andre, but Canelo was avoiding them. He made sure to avoid all the best black American fighters in or around his division. That's why Erik Morales was hella impressed with Crawford moving up these many weight classes to his 6th weight class to beat Canelo. I mean, in Erik Morales' mind, this just justified what I have been telling you guys from day one. That 99% of all the fighters in the world, the best fighters in the world, they lost their undefeated record to a black fighter. The only 1% that didn't lose were the ones that were ducking all the black fighters. And it ain't hard to tell the way everyone be ducking the black fighters today. They've been doing it from back in the day. That's why they called them back in the day the Black Murderers Row. It meant if you are part of the best hopeless fighters in the world, then don't get in the ring with these brothers because you're going to get murdered. Best believe that. Well, Erik Morales witnessing Crawford beat Canelo under them circumstances, that didn't confirm whatever prophecy. No, that reconfirmed everything he lived through, through reality. Talking about even him losing, like he said, to a black fighter, and all his rivals losing to black fighters, from Pacquiao to Barrera to Morales to Marquez to Oscar de la Hoya, you name them. If it's a legendary fighter, we're talking about one of the greatest in that race or nation, then they lost to the greatest boxers of all time, which is only from one particular race. That's the black race, the Super Saiyan race in boxing. The reason why Erik Morales spilled the beans is because of Terrence Bud Crawford. Ever since Crawford put a Super Saiyan beating on Canelo Alvarez, that sent shockwaves all around the galaxy, the fabric of space around Earth. On the cloud and here on Earth is nothing but reels of Crawford highlights, putting hands and feet on Canelo Alvarez, moving up 3 weight classes pretty much one time to his 6th weight class to do so for undisputed. The fight took place over a month ago. Until this day, all you see is Crawford going Super Saiyan on Canelo Alvarez like he told you guys he would. There's no secret. We all know the mainstream media, they tried to bury Bud. That was the agenda ever since Floyd Mayweather retired, is to make it seem like the best fighters in the world are no longer black. They are either Europeans or whatever. The mainstream media pushed the agenda, creating so many narratives that the best fighter in the world, the face of boxing ever since Floyd retired, is not Ward, is not Bud. It's Roman Gonzalez, Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin, Kovalev, Canelo Alvarez, and now Inoue or Usyk, whoever it is, as long the best fighter in boxing, the pound for pound king, is not another black fighter. They wanted to destroy that cycle. They wanted to break that chain. It doesn't matter if it's not reality. We're gonna have people living in fantasy. But God had other plans. God is the ultimate author, and what he written is for Crawford to rewrite history with his bare hands, without a pen or a paper, against all odds of the mainstream media that wrote it was Lomachenko who was the pound for pound king. Even with losses, let's erase him. Canelo, PEDs, let's erase that. Tyson Fury, PEDs, let's erase that. It didn't matter who it was. Gennady Golovkin till he got exposed. Kovalev till he got exposed. Roman Gonzalez till he got slept. For the past decade, this is who the mainstream media wrote articles about being the pound for pound king over Bud, knowing that wasn't the truth. Because the whole time they had Bud number 1 or number 2. But every time the number 1 guy loses, whether it was Lomachenko, Gennady Golovkin, Roman Gonzalez, they will bring the number 3 guy or the 4th guy below Bud on the pound for pound list and raise him over Bud. On all of old media pound for pound lists, Bud was the only one, instead of moving up, he was moving down. I don't know how the hell was that possible while he was accomplishing more than everyone on the pound for pound list and winning in more dominant fashion, more of everything. He gets KOs. He does everything more than everybody on the pound for pound list. He has better resume than everyone on the pound for pound list. They always made up a lie to hate on Bud, to bury his name. And it ain't over yet. Do you guys know they still arguing if Inoue or Usyk is over Bud still? Inoue just got touched up by MJ. He was looking terrible, right? Before that, he got dropped by a nobody. I don't see Inoue moving up 3 weight divisions to fight Gervonta. He said hell no. But when Bud just smoked Spence in the fight of the decade, then moved up 3 weight divisions to beat Canelo in the fight of the era, and y'all got the audacity to still question Bud when Usyk, Inoue, Beterbiev, Benavidez, Bivol, Devin, Shakur, everybody saying Crawford is pound for pound number 1. Floyd, everybody. You guys just heard what Erik Morales said or is about to say. You see, everyone knew Crawford was the next all-time great. They knew the passing of the torch from Floyd and Ward was gonna go to Bud. They knew Crawford was the best fighter since Floyd, Roy Jones, Sugar Ray Leonard, Ali. He cut from that cloth. but they threw him in the shadow. But now his Super Saiyan aura made everyone say he's one of the top 5 greatest fighters of all time, which is the greatest accomplishment in the sport of boxing. Some fighters want the fame, some fighters want the money, some fighters want the legacy. They want to become a champ. Some fighters want to become a pound for pound champ. Some fighters want to become the #1 pound for pound. Some fighters want to become undisputed. I'd say pound for pound #1 is over all of that. But the only accomplishment that you can actually achieve that's greater than that is to become one of the top 5 greatest fighters of all time in boxing. We have a rich history in boxing. Remember that. It's actually a longer history, not just than UFC. That's something new. Man, there's more legendary boxers than there are basketball and soccer ball players, football, whatever you call it. That's right. And Bud is top 5. Here is the bad news to the mainstream media that want to brainwash the public. The top 10 greatest fighters of all time, all of them are black fighters. Matter of fact, you can say the top 20. They all black fighters. If you have a non-black fighter on the top 20, you biased as hell. And that's a fact. Erik Morales just confirmed all of that. If you can't beat them, then you're not better than them. That's why the mainstream media tried to change the rules and implement politics by hyping up the hopeless fighters, giving them opportunity. Not just that, giving them protection to avoid these black fighters. Meanwhile, the black fighters, on the other hand, guess what they did to them? They blocked the opportunities. They didn't promote them. They lie on their name. They discredit them. They tell them, you ducking so-and-so. He goes and beat them. Guess what they say after that? Oh, he was a nobody. So why the hell you was saying he was ducking him? That's exactly what they did to Crawford's entire career. And that's exactly what they did with Canelo's entire career. He had the complexion for the connection to get the ultimate protection. But even then, he still got his behind whooped by Bud Crawford. It was destiny. 3 things that could never be hidden is the sun, the moon, and the truth. They will eventually come out. The truth turned out to be that Bud has been the pound for pound king ever since Floyd retired. He passed him the torch. And now Bud is mentioned on the same sentence as Floyd, as Muhammad Ali, as the Sugar Rays, as the Roy Jones, and the Sweet Peas. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A nivel mundial, pues hay muchas técnicas, alguna que nos ha afectado bastante y que nos ha ganado muchas peleas. La americana, ¿no? Los peleadores morenitos nos han ganado casi todas, güey. O sea, pues así me atrevo a decir que en la historia vete para atrás y cuenta y nos han ganado muchas.
Pues esto, a lo mejor lo viste, Lalo Camarena hizo esta estadística que estamos como a 130 a 120 en peleas. O sea, 130 para Estados Unidos, 120 para México. Y estás contando ahí a los mexicoamericanos como gringos.
No, me qué chingado, ya quisiera yo. Si nomás de los últimos 30 años nos han madreado todos. Mira, pon tú, Chávez sí le ganó a muchos, pero me lo chingó Frankie Randall y me lo chingó cuando quiso ir a welter.
El
Canelo Whitaker. Luego, a Barrera se lo chingó Junior Jones.
Sí,
2 veces.
¿Tú te chingaste a Jones?
Sí, pero luego vino esa guerra aquí y me madrió a mí. ¿No? Entonces, luego, Cobrita González se lo chingó un peleador morenito, ¿cómo se llama? Yo peleé con él mucho tiempo después, pero cuando estaba en su época, estaba bien cabrón, güey. Y le ganaron a la Cobra González. ¿Quién más?
Pues Mayweather se chingó a todos.
Mayweather se chingó a todo.
Bueno, Castillo,
Pon tú, batalló con Castillo, pero bailó a la mayoría. Luego, recién, Crawford, madrió a Canelo. Entonces, en las peleas grandes, pues nos han madreado la mayoría de veces, y no blancos, güey, los morenitos.
¿Qué tienen los morenitos? ¿Qué
Pues no les hemos hallado, güey. No le
parte
hemos...
física que tienen?
Pues es que son muy hábiles, son rápidos. La defensa que tienen son muy, muy hábiles en la defensa,